Hey, what's up, everybody? It's KyFy. I'm glad you're here. I want to get straight to the message because this is going to be the most powerful reading I've ever done in my life, period. There's no ifs. So let me just get started. The reason why you're here, you were attracted to the title, The Anger Behind the Truth, and the pedestal that was built for you. So I'm going to get to that later. But the messages, let's start with it. The dark nature of spirit. What is that all about? But the main question I had was, why is spirit dark? Spirit lies to you to manipulate you into new beginnings. Let me say that again. Spirit lies to you to manipulate you into new beginnings. You are more scared of the spirit's lie than the enemy's lie. Therefore, spirit terrifies you, absolutely terrifies you into divine alignment. And this is why putting the devil's face as the name of the face of darkness, spirit, your shadow, the divine mother, is logical. That's why that makes so much sense. Oh yeah, that thing is after me. Everything I want was a lie and then it was snatched away from me. Yeah, that's evil. That's inherently evil to the logical mind. Inherently evil, no matter what anybody says. Even I agree with that, because that's logically speaking only. That's without any belief in spirit, belief in your soul, God, and any other things. Just relying on your ego, your mind, that makes logical sense. Yeah, I'm gonna just stay away from all of that. That's just all negative. I'm gonna stay away from it. And this is why I'm here. I'm a mental alchemist, so we're gonna get down to it. What I'm here to do is bring the energy from the crown to the root, and then it's for you to do what you want to do with it. So, yeah, let's keep going. This programs us to hate and willfully push spirit away. So, willfully or egoically, push spirit away. Yeah, keep that away from me. I don't want it. So, this brings the conundrum of spirit. What is spirit to do? Because the truth is a different thing. So, no matter what happens, when the spirit decides, when your shadow decides to tell you the truth, it burns from the inside and you cannot extinguish it. It's going to burn whatever the lie was out until it's finished. And that's what the power of the truth is. So I started to realize, doesn't that sound like the lake of fire? So I said, oh man, when I came up with, I don't know, when this download got pushed into my brain, when I was sitting here upset at the fact that spirit lied to me yet again to get me to do a different thing, and now I'm in divine alignment, upset and happy at the same time, pissed. Like, this is what has to happen, because my logical mind is so powerful, so stubborn, that that's the method that was meant for me to learn. And I signed up for this because in this world, all truth is basically fiction, is a lie. All truth is a lie. So you have to believe in a lie in order to get the real truth. Let me keep going. So that lake of fire that I mentioned. So the lake of fire that I mentioned, this is, I grew up in a church and I thought all about it. The lake of fire, I don't want to go there. But then I realized, coming into this spiritual knowledge, heaven and hell is within the mind. So what is the lake of fire anyway? When the truth hits you, you are burning from the inside. You might as well be on fire. So that's the theoretical, that kind of terminology, the lake that's happening right now. And this is why you cannot push truth on anybody. They do not want to burn, and you cannot burn people. That's literal fire magic, if you want to put it in that way, because I like anime and all this other stuff. But because fire is soul. You are literally, soul is, God. God is truth. And when you are able to hold a certain amount of truth within your formed mind right now. You are at peace with a certain amount of truth. And not necessarily anybody is better than anybody, but you recognize where people are on their path, and you cannot push them. They have to want that truth, because then they are ready for that little bit to come into there. But when that channel is open, you cannot push the lake in. You have to understand this. You are God. You are the piece of God that's down here living vicariously. Well, God is living vicariously through you. So you can't do that. You can't even take that fire, that new truth, the one that yourself and your spirit and the divine mother tells you about. And the ones that you gotta go to the club, gotta go dancing, gotta go drinking, can't listen to that truth. But hear this. Your worst nightmare is spirit's direct communication to you. And when I realized that, I said, oh snap. Because the real devil is the demiurge. It is not any dark. Dark is a realm. Just like this is a realm where all of us lie, dark is a realm with all of them lie. So you have to understand there are differences. There are negatives and positives in that realm also. So the positives are your shadow, your spirit, and the divine mother. The negatives will be like the demons that you talk about, right? Then it would be the negative forces that are outside of you that come towards you, right? Because they don't come from within you. The negative forces don't come from within you unless you project it out, right? Unless you project it out, and that's a decision. Knowingly or unknowingly, it's a decision to let that out. So that was a message for somebody. This is all about the quest to fill yourself with enough truth, because that's God's power in general. So what is the demiurge? The demiurge, I have so much. The demiurge is God's manifested wrath consciousness. So you have to understand, when you anger God, we all know when we do bad things, knowingly or unknowingly, especially when you know it, right? Especially when you know it. You already know this. Why are you doing that, right? That's how God, karma also in the darkness, it works for us. We're going to get to it, right? Your spirit knows you better than the devil, the demiurge, because it's within you. It's a part of you. It's the thing that came down here with you to teach you everything you needed to know. And your shadow, which is your true inner child, the one that remembers and knows your true calling, the one that isn't fearful, the one that has to work through you, the conscious mind, with the body to get this dream manifested. So how do you convert that demiurge energy and forces and things like that? Transmuted demiurge, demi energy, right? You hear it? Demiurge, demi energy, right? Is mana or power. So you can understand something. There's the prana or the quintessence that comes down from ether. And then when you manifest it through alchemy and all that other stuff, it becomes mana, right? Like manifest. It's in the name. It's right there. So this is the logical way to hear spirit through your worst nightmares. Why? Because your spirit knows you better than the demiurge. The spirit knows what's going to get you up and moving. So that fear, where does it come from? When you challenge the fear and conquer the fear, your spirit cannot theoretically attack you, what we know as the devil face, right? That logical mind sees it as the devil attacking us, right? No, it's training. It's just training. They cannot attack you on that level no more, because they power you on this level now. Now they can they were beating the programming out of you to make space. So imagine you are a mountain, right? And they had to dig within you to basically live now. Now, between at least fear over here. In the fear sector, spirit lives within you. So you don't walk with fear anymore. The other things are the things, the new levels, new devils. Same difference. So when you think about it logically, when you are presented with your worst fears, that's your spirit speaking to you. And I said, huh? Because my worst fears are the things that I move towards to, you know, to handle first. Those are the things that I do first. My worst fears, I go to try to handle those things first. And when those things are out of the way, I'm spiritually empowered for those things on that level not to bother me anymore, because I got that handle. So it works like that. And the devil is a liar, correct? So this is why English messed up everything. English is not the language for us. And I'm going to dissect the English. And it's going to be bananas when I get to this app. Trust me. Because everything I'm saying is going to be there already. It's going to be shown to you in a way you can understand it and digest it. Like, I don't need to speak anymore when that's here. Can't wait. Because when you get it, you get it. And if you hear me, put it in the comments and say I hear you. Put an ear in the comment. Something. Because I need to know that you hear me. Why? Because one person heard me. And through that energy, I said, you know what? At least one person heard me. And I'm here again. When I decided to be here again, this is the message. Because of one. Imagine 1,000. I don't know what else is going to come out. Because I'm just guided by spirit by now. Through my worst fears. I do not want to let this go and not be manifested before I leave this earth. That's my worst fear. So I move for that dream. I have to live this dream before I leave this earth. It's a must. It's a must. I see this. It's so beautiful. It's the only thing that I would live for this for the rest of my life. So that's why you know that thing for you. You know it. So guess what? Because your worst fears bring you so many like terrifying moments and things, and you gotta do this because you're afraid that this is gonna happen, and you gotta do this because you're afraid that this is gonna happen. You're afraid that you are going to burn out of the truth that you already know that's incoming. You know that these things can happen, and you do not want to burn, and you know this. So you do things so you don't burn in that lake of fire, that truth that is here now called karma, because you did not decide to do those things. But we do these things knowingly and unknowingly. And that's the reason why God forgives us every time. Because we are learning. We are God in inverted way. We are learning who we are. God knows who everybody is and who he is and all that other stuff. Like I don't think on that level. I just like, okay, you just be over here, I'll be over here, thank you. I stay in my place. And this is what God gave me in this place to speak to you. So let's get on with the message or the reading. The first part of the reading, well, this is the Zin-Finity Board. It is an elementally energetic grid that flows on a 21-part circuit, actually 22 in the app, right? Housing all aspects of the mind in a still life fashion. Anything that you can possibly think of is here, so it's up to us to make it clear. Jeez. Anything that you can think of is here, so it's up to us to make it clear. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you for being here. Let's get right to it. The first part of the reading is emanation. So, what do we do here? This is the who, what, when, where, and why of the situation. Now that we got the message, who, what, when, where, and why, let's get the answers now. Starting off for who, the first card was step out of your comfort zone, and this is in the North Node, right? So, also, I have the other deck, which is the pocket archetypes, right? And this is the archetype of the one. So you are the one that is to step out of your comfort zone. That's the straight sentence. So let's get this real quick. All right. So you are headed for something which feels like destiny. You need to face fear and get over it. Time to stop obsessing about someone or something. Stand on your own 2 feet. You got this. Right? Because you are the one. You have all the keys, and you had to discover it through all the fears that you had to conquer within yourself. So you are complete on a certain level, which brings you to that new beginning of that dream. But just imagine going all through these 100 levels and then ending up at level 1. How frustrating is that? But it's level 1 in that dream. You are so fitted for something and you know it, but it's level 1 of your dreamscape, your dream manifestation path. It's level 1 of that. That's what it feels like. It's like, oh, I did all this to be at level 1 again. All right, but if you can accept that, and your life will completely change. Everything around you will shift in position almost magically. Yeah. So that's who. What is don't let your past hold you back. This is the south node. That was the north node. This is the south node. The north node is in the top. The south node is in the bottom. Crazy. And I didn't even realize that until just now. It's too many cards to realize all of this. So it's for you. It's this is how much it resonates with me. And then it says the ocean. The ocean is all about spirit. And I've been talking about spirit in the message. So yeah. Man. A relationship is karmic and has played out across many lifetimes. Why? Because imagine you are a spirit. Imagine you are a soul and you have a destiny also. So you keep coming down here to try to do this thing. Or you are down here until you do this thing. Imagine the despair of your soul being down here for so long until you actually do this thing, which you know you could have done the first time. But being here trapped you. It's like, it's the system. Of course, there are a lot of stories that overlap, but you have to decide which one is fitted for your mind at the time, because spirit will acknowledge it and work with you with that method. It doesn't matter which way you decide to go. There will be a guide. It will be there. You just have to listen to the ocean, to the spirit. The spirit is about the emotions, right? Emotions are not feelings. Emotions are potential forces, right? Those are the emotions. Those are forces. Those are magnetic, and I think it's electromagnetic. Yeah, it's magnetic and electromagnetic, something like that. Yeah, those are the two forces on the spiritual side, because there's electric and dielectric on the masculine side, I believe. Don't quote me, but those are the 4 forces that I know. The 4 main forces, the 4 like inside the body. But yeah, your attraction to someone may be verging on the obsessive. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Because you are fit for something that you think you can do, which is a fantasy. A fantasy is not a dream. A dream is 9-part fantasy, because at every level of the fantasy there's a fear that you have to conquer, and once you conquer it, that's level, you've conquered one piece of that dream. So you go up the scale, and once you truly recognize it, that's when you are living the dream, and you don't even recognize it, that the path towards it was the whole thing. The learning process was the best part, and now you get the spoils of war, in a sense. So that was what, when it had 2 archetype cards, right? This is the castle. I love castles. So, and then the empty room. So an empty castle. What does that mean? I have an analogy for relationships. The castle, kingdom, flag, and the court. You can understand the court has the king and the queen, and that's where you lie. The kingdom is where the conscious mind lies, and that's in the masculine. Doesn't matter who's on that side to control it, but that's in the masculine mind sphere. The feminine is where the castle lies, the home, that concept. What protects you. That's on the feminine side, and that's on the nurturing side, right? So we are all in this by ourselves. We are all this by ourselves, so we don't need the other party. But when you combine through unity, there's a certain way that you can operate with it perfectly. And in my app, it will be a relationship, like a like one of them dating apps. I got one of those too, because spiritually, you need to know who you're connected to also. Imagine skipping that spiritual barrier because it's connected through what I already... Okay. That is... Let me get this. The energy is gaining momentum. This is the waxing moon. The situation is full of potential. I just mentioned that. Emotion. Your dream can come true. More effort is yet required. Are you willing to give it? Review your goals and ensure you're still committed. Keep moving forward. Now, there's a dream board that you had or even thought of, or you think of it so much you don't even need to write it down. But imagine when you write it down again, it's like a checkpoint in your life, because you get to understand what you have or what you don't need, because you have less fear. So now that you have less fear, what does your dream, what does your vision look like? Because the dream and the fantasy, as a soul, it's a vision. That's the thing that you are supposed to go towards. Not the fantasy, not even the dream, the vision. The vision is what you can consciously see. You can't see the dream, but you can see the vision. Right? So, yeah. The next card is for where. This is where. The question for where. The balsamic moon, a time for healing. And this happens to be the mother. I'm talking about the mother and the true face of the mother. The devil card on the tree of life, the tarot card, the devil card. Watch, if it comes out, we'll see. But the devil card is the shadow card. It's not the devil no more. That's your shadow speaking to you. Your shadow knows your worst fears. Your shadow know what you have to choose, the worst decision, the best decision. Your shadow knows that. That's that dark angel on the side that be like, you know that you could do this and this and right, but you got consequences. They always tell you the consequences, the worst fears about it. Oh, you can do this, but there are consequences. They always let you know, because that's universal law. They gotta let you know. And in this world, they have been letting us know for such a long time that we are catching on to it and not following the way that they need us to anymore. So this is why this thing is being like, they are promoting so much fear. Run to the worst fear, because that's not the one that you see. The one that they are spouting is like the fear that they're trying to get you to do. That's their method. That's the way they want you to go. But the true fear, the way that your spirit now wants to hear you, want you to hear it, that's the way you need to move. Your present time fear. It has nothing to do with the past. You grow. You reach another checkpoint. So your present time fear. So the next card is for why. And this has to do with the box. And the crazy thing is, the box fits in the one. Because this is a pyramid, or, you can call it, well, a double-sided pyramid to me looks like a cube. So that's the way I look at it. But it's mainly an octahedron inside a hexahedron. I nerded out real quick, but if you know what that means, the platonic solids, you know what I mean. And the octahedron represents the heart. 2 cards came out for why. A new start is coming, the new moon, and it's time to release negativity. Now, negativity also includes potential, because that's all in the darkness. It's 4 types. Remember that. Negativity is potential. And when you release potential, you have action. So, releasing the negativity brings action. And love, as I keep saying, is movement. I give you flowers, therefore it moves you. And now you almost feel obligated to do something in kind to me, or if greater, even like to challenge me, like, you can't do that to me. Challenge me, and you're going to give me back that energy, and we stack that up. Romance is dead. It's necromancy. It's a dead art, right? But it's a bar that goes up and down. The more you do it, the more that bar goes up, and the more you guys are spiritually kind of contracted to give it back to each other. So that sounded kind of weird, but that's the way it works universally. It's not dead, but you use it in a way where it benefits both. That breeds potential, because even though I said it was dead, our logical mind says that, oh, this can happen, oh, this can happen, oh, this can happen, oh, this can happen. But the true fear is you will feel alone again. Like, the true fear is above all that. All this other stuff is just stuff in the way. The true fear is the end result fear. Like, that's what you can speak to spirit about. That's how spirit speaks to you, logically. So, a new start is coming. Let's get this, the new moon. A new start is on its way. You will soon start to feel more hopeful about getting what you want. Your belief that your dream can manifest is working well. Forget about the past. And I don't know why I had to show you because it's an empty moon. But empty, okay, let me show. Let me talk about that. God is nothing, nowhere, and nobody, and I can prove it by what faith is. You believe in nothing, nowhere, and nobody to get the job done, correct? So if you do that, that's God's presence. Nothing. You're believing in nothing, and that's what the logical mind is registering at that moment. So find peace with that. So the next card was Full Moon in Scorpio, time to release negativity. It's time to move on from living fearfully to living joyfully. You have the right, you have your right to have your suspicions. Right. Grudges are toxic. Let something go. Because, okay, the end of an argument. That was the last message on that one. So, grudges are toxic. Let something go. You have conscious arms and you have spiritual magnetic attraction and polarization, de-attraction, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the word, but it pushes it away, right? Basically, if it's being pushed away from you and that's spiritual and you're consciously holding onto it with the hand, you are not operating with this spirit. You are operating against what your spirit knows is best. But at this time, the face of darkness, the devil, oh, it's the devil. Yes, it is. You're looking at your spirit and you're calling your spirit the devil for taking this thing away from you, which your spirit also lied to you to make you believe that this was the authentic thing for you so you can authentically learn the lesson. That was the goal. So it's so powerful because it's frustrating, but I can find peace with it because of where I'm going. Where I'm going is so much greater than everything I've been through and the things that I go through in the present day. It's better, and I live for it. So, yeah. All right. That was emanation. That was about the soul. The next part of the reading is creation. So this is about the perspectives in the mind, about the Sephirah. So we're going to go down the line from the crown down to the root. I said I'm an alchemist and I'm a mental alchemist. So what I do on this board is bring the energy down from the crown down to the root, clearing the channels. And then it's up to you to figure out how to balance out the energy and use it. But we talk about all the processes. So let's get down to the perspectives, starting with the first one, which crowns the reading, the crown chakra, which is the Three of Pentacles. Let's get it. So this is teamwork, collaboration, and building something. I already talked about what you're doing with your soul right now, and that's finding peace with your worst fears, because that's knowing your logical mind, your ego, literally sees it as your worst fear. And because this world is inverted, the inverted communication, you know how men and women basically are just inverted, right? So we speak through logical minds and you guys speak through a spiritual mindset. So it looks like it's nonsense to us, and to your mind it looks like it's nonsense to you. So we're both dealing with a whole bunch of nonsense on both sides, knowing and believing that we are right. And we could be both wrong, but it's a process to learn it. And the more you fight to learn it, the more truth, the more you are willing to be within that lake of truth, to breed. I said breed with it. So that's co-manifestation. That's like doubling down on an investment. That's compounding interest, compounding spiritual power. All right, so that was the Three of Pentacles in IB, right? This is I want. The Knight of Cups. This is offsuit. It should be fire or earth over here and water or air over here, because this is fire, air, water, earth, and the last one right here should be fire or air. So that's the rule, and this is why things are offsuit. Offsuit means your energy from the crown cannot get past that point. So when we're about to get to the reasons, and the next part, we figure out what balances it. So, yeah, the Knight of Cups. Following the heart, idealistic and romantic. I remember I just told you what romance is. So the investment that you gave, the thing that you're holding on to, that's my money. It's in the stock market. It might as well be a stock market, and the stock is down right now. I know the stock is going to go back up. I know it's going to go back up. I've invested so much, and they all told me it was going to go back up, but you have nothing to show for it. You have nothing to show for it because you've achieved your worst fear, and that's your spirit telling you this is bankrupt and you need to move on to the next investment. You're holding on to something, you're putting your energy into something that isn't going to go back up. And it's like, you know how the stock market works. One side is the people winning and the other side is the people losing. But somehow, like, it goes up at the same time. Don't ask me. But you understand how it works. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Sometimes the stocks crash and you can do nothing about it because the standing isn't good. Nobody believes in it. Right? So the next card is I Need. And this is also offsuit. So let's get it. The Ace of Wands. This is creation, willpower, inspiration, and desire. Remember what I said? Willpower should not be on the side of the spirit. This should be allowing things to happen. You are controlling, trying to control what you need. You are trying to control that situation. I know what I need because I know the fantasy. But that's not the true dream. This is the side of the dream. Stay on your lane. Your lane is a servant to your soul. There's a hierarchy in who you are. There are pieces to you. The conscious mind is the one that's moving my hands right now that does whatever it wants. It might as well be called the beast because we out here messing everything up in God's perfect world. Messed the whole thing up. He messed the whole thing up. Me, I messed the whole thing up. In every one of my lifetimes, I did something that contributed to where we are now. I know I'm at fault. That's not my first time here. I know it. And I'm out here trying to fix those errors in the best way I know how. So, the next card is I Know. This is your knowledge center, right? And this is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a major arcana card. Or a major arcana is about things happening towards you, to you. But this is a negative thing, which is a potential thing. Something of the dark nature, of the spiritual nature, happening to you through your knowledge is washing it out because you have to find balance. High Priestess. Inner voice, intuition, divine truth, wisdom, and unconscious. Now, unconscious is the thing. You're hyper conscious to the situation. You're so good. You've become so trained. You're level 99 in part 1. What are you telling me, God? You mean to tell me that I still don't know and I still have to learn from what I know now? It has to be restructured for the new level. And that's what makes you level 1. But the thing is, in any game, when you gain like tiers or something like that, right? You always go to level 1. Fire Emblem was my game for that. Every archer went to level 20, and then when you went to the next tier, they get a better bow, and then they become better, but they still start at level 1, going back to 20 and doing this all over again and keep going because you want to keep evolving. That's the point. We came here to evolve. We are God, so how can you make it even better? This. This? Oh, God. So the next card is I Want. And this is your ego. 5 of Swords, and this is offsuit. Let's get it. Unbridled ambition, winning at all costs, and sneakiness. You cannot sneak past your contracts. There are things that you have to do in order to get to the next level. So this, you cannot sneak past it. God sees you, the Spirit sees you, they looking at you like, you'll get it. One day you'll understand. But if this is talking about somebody else, the stubbornness and the ambition, the actual intention that you had, even though you were supposed to let it go, it was a pure intention. And it was met by negativity from the demiurge. So you understand that. That's the true negativity. And that has a karmic effect coming back to it. So trust me, you will have popcorn front seats to see it because God told you to go away from it. But God also wants you to know that you did the right thing. And you will see. You won't even want it to happen to them. Moving on. Judgment card. And this is a water card, and this is on suit, finally, in the place of desire. Reflection, reckoning, awakening. Okay, so remember when I was talking about your vision board and reviewing those things? Those are the things that you desire. And because you are more courageous, some things you no longer desire. Revisit those things so your mind and your spirit can claim that energetic flow back to push it into a different funnel. Right, yeah. So the next energy up was the Eight of Cups, and this is in the place of I love. And this is off suit. Let's get it. Walking away, disillusionment, and leaving behind. The crazy thing about leaving behind is that you gain power because you left it behind upright for when it rains. You know, like that's Three of Swords energy. When it rains, it'll fill your cup back up. But that's a release. So you have to release to gather again. So yeah. The next energy is the World, and this is also off suit. Good card. Major Arcana, right? The world belongs to you, and that's what you're going towards. Everything that you fantasized about before in the first part of your life. That means not like it means nothing no more. It becomes experience. It's literally just experience now. So now you use those experience points to the new skills that you are finding out that you have. You understand that? Knowledge is power, but it's a prerequisite to power. Knowledge is experience points to your skills. So you apply your knowledge to your skills, making your skills better. So the World card, and this is in a place of I do or I act, right? I think, that kind of thing. I do or I think. Fulfillment, harmony, and completion. And for some reason, I need to say flare. Because the candle I have just lit a flare for no reason. I was trying to figure out the right word before I said it to you. And the word that came to me was flare. So there's a certain flare that you were after when it comes into what you're doing. There's a certain, not limelight, but spiritual achievement light that you were after. And that isn't there. And this is why the world that you were going after has to, in a sense, crumble. So you can see the true ceiling of the world that was meant for you. But it's not even a ceiling. It's endless. Right? So yeah. The next card is I Feel. And this is the Emperor. And the Emperor is a fire card. So it's off suit. Let's get it. Authority, structure, control, and fatherhood. Obviously, the Ace of Wands and the Emperor. This ego control. This egoic control. The fact that you know it's like something devastating, so you do everything in your power not for it not to happen. And these are your feelings. Your feelings go within the home. Your feelings get past the barrier. You get past the castle walls in your home. The feelings are the negative emotions that manifest within your home. If they're not good ones, they're tarnish the home in this scenario. You understand? So the Emperor. There's something about this authority. Oh, the message I had. When you release command, you get control. No, when you release control, you get command. There you go. Because command is about management. They want to follow you because you do a good job. Control is a dictatorship. Yeah. So the last card is I Am, and this is the Knight of Pentacles, and it's on suit. You do not fear. But let's get the Knight of Pentacles. Efficiency, hard work, and responsibility. Now, you are willing at this point because you are fit. Don't get it twisted. Level 1 is not weak. You are not weak at all. And the devil knows that. The demiurge knows that. So therefore, they cannot operate with you in this new path the same way. You are going to stomp on their plans. And this is why you are stomping on all of their plans right now. You are getting that front seat. You are getting that front seat on the horse. You're not even, you chilling. And the horse is your spirit. They're going to get you there. The horse is, oh yeah, yeah. Let's not even go over there. But yeah. That was creation. the next part of the reading is formation, and this involves balance. Now these cards, we're going to go up the line. I'm going to do only 3 max. If it doesn't fit, if it doesn't fix, then it doesn't, you know. So, okay, this is reversed. And it was fixed. So the Justice card came up, which is air. That's not complete yet. And then the 3 of Cups came out reversed. So that completed it. So that was I feel. Let's get this real quick. No, let's get the rest of the cards. And then I'm going to explain it one by one. Alright, so the 10 of Swords came up. The 4 of Cups came up. I'm starting to understand the 4 of Cups a lot more. Because that's about the temptations that you had. And then it ended off with the 7 of Wands. That's the fight that you are willing, because you are so unfearful of the new challenge, but just needed to know the new challenge. You needed to know that you leveled up. And that's the reason for this tower. The whole reason that I mentioned the tower in the reading is because of the level up. If you've been seeing tower cards all the time, if you've been seeing them, right? It means that you level up. Your tower is your highest perspective that you currently have in the present time. It's the place that you go and you keep going back up to see the dangers around, to see what you can farm and flourish. But you have literally, your kingdom grew, but you haven't explored new lands. And in order to explore new lands, the safest way to do that is to bring the tower down and build it back up better with the new material that you have from all that you claimed. You have a lot more to work with now, so your tower goes up twice as high. Just use that scenario. It goes up twice as high. Imagine what you can see now. You work from a higher perspective, and you double up. And that's the level up. That's the tower card. It's not always negative. Oh. The only card that was separate that fell was this one right here. And it was the 6 of Pentacles. And the Judgment card almost went completely under my little table. And I almost didn't see it. And then when I bent down, I saw it. So I'm going to put this card right here. And that's crazy because its Judgment card came out right here. So let's keep going because that's not air. It should be air. The World. No, I like that one. Queen of Wands. Oh, I said I would do 3, and I kept going, so I gotta stop. Gotta follow my own rules. The next energy that was offsuit was I Will, and the 9 of Cups came out. Don't worry, I'm gonna explain all of this, but I'm gonna just get all the cards down. And it ended off with the 8 of Wands. So 7, 8. Some of the same energy in your actions because of what you were newly willing to do. The next energy that is off suit is I Know, and it was the Wheel of Fortune. And this is perfect to be here because fortunate to know it because you operate differently. Imagine being able to know what you need to know at the right time, and you know that that will be a fact. So you move with a certain amount of peace. Oh, I'll know what to do when the time comes. So all the little lies in the way are like nonsense to you. And when you get a real fear, a real terrifying fear, understand that that is truth. That lake of fire that you do not want to be in, you will rather manage that energy, right? Instead of it burning and you into place, right? So you have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice. Contain it or let it like manifest through you. The next energy that was off suit is I Need, and it didn't complete. That was the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. So the Moon card came up, and that completed it. I ain't know what happened to the card just now. Alright. So the next energy, let's see. The 5 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. You can see the pattern. You can see what's happening. So that was the last one that was off suit. So let's get some understanding about what just happened. In the place of I feel, in order to balance it out, we drew the Justice card and the 3 of Cups. So let's get the Justice card. Dishonesty, unaccountability, and unfairness. Being accountable for the actions that you've taken and have yet taken or need to take. You know what I mean? Or not, that's kind of the same thing. But or the things that you don't know you need to do yet, or the things that you do that you need to do when the time comes. The things that are planned, the things that you plan. There you go. You have made plans and you have obligated yourself to things. So you need to understand that you have made yourself accountable, and that truth will burn you from the inside. I know y'all know what I mean, and this is crazy. 3 of Cups. Overindulgence, gossip, and isolation. Overindulging in feelings. Isolated because you are overindulging. But the thing is, you have to figure out what you are feeling. And you can't drown somebody around you. You can apparently be with it yourself, but you're bred for that. And when you come to understand the flow or the container, like when you come to understand the reason behind the emotion, which is your spirit talking to you, when you come to understand your spirit, you see what's happening and become accountable. It works with you. So the next energy that was off was I do or I think, right? It started off with the World, and then it went to the 10 of Swords. This is failure, collapse, and defeat. And the reason why that's important, because your ego needed to be stopped. Straight up, the fantasy was unreal. Truly unreal, if you know what I mean. So going after that will only deteriorate your life. Went from there to, oh man, 4 of Cups. Apathy, contemplation, and disconnectedness. There's a standstill, almost like a cold war between you and an energy. Energies work through people. So you have to understand whatever energy is coming out through whoever. That's what you're at a standstill with. You won't attack me because I know the truth. I know the truth. And that's emotion. That's feelings. But you're at a standstill with that. So there's no movement. And the way to move with that is the 7 of Wands. Perseverance, taking defense and maintaining control. Now, defense, a good defense is a good defense is a good offense. Oh God, a good defense is the best offense or something like that. Whatever the thing is, if they can't attack you, whatever you manage to nurture yourself with, automatically stays with you, because they can't get to you. Whatever you contain, whatever you harvest, is yours for the taking, because your defense is on level 1,000. You can understand them peons ain't getting through. So whatever is manifested for you stays with you. Now and forever. So the 6, okay, so in the place of I feel, started off with the 8 of Cups and went to the 6 of Pentacles. Charity, generosity, sharing. Now, this is sharing your time with something, someone, somebody, right? But they're only giving you pieces back. Meaning like there's a big investment and such a low return that isn't even worth it. The next card that came up was the one that flew under the table, Judgment. Under the table, judgment. Judgment under the table. Maybe somebody's kicking you under the table trying to get you to understand something. Like, don't say that right now. Like, are you kidding me? What are you doing? Like, you know what that means in every movie. Like, they kick you and the person jump. Like, and everybody look at them. Like, that's the moment that's happening right now. It's being judged. So let's see. Reflection, reckoning, and awakening. Well, it's kind of the same difference. Nothing much to say about that part. But then the world came out again. The world was what you're doing before. You were doing everything for the world that would keep you safe, right? Safety is like not about courage. You keep yourself safe because of the things that you keep up. Like, right? Safety is like something keeping you safe and you're not doing anything about it. So it's a different way of like hearing that. But then it went to your space. Safety in your space. You're giving your time to certain people, places, or things to keep you safe. And then it went from there to the Queen of Wands. And it did not complete, because I said I would do 3 and I did 4. But Queen of Wands. Courage, determination, and joy. Now this is the trigger. What will you do? If you are courageous, if you have determination, you will receive a sense of joy. That doesn't mean anything for this reading right now. This is your ego saying that I know what's right. So the decisions that I have made will be my abundance. You are not all-knowing. So how could that be true? There's a falsehood at play. The next card that was off suit was I will. And it started off with the 5 of Swords and it continued with the 9 of Cups. And this is satisfaction, emotional stability, and luxury. This is emotional luxury. You were willing to do things out of your nature for emotional luxury. That's kind of deceiving in its own right. And then you realize that, but you were still going to it because it's like, wait, if I do this, then this will happen. It's almost like you're studying it now. So instead of being so emotional with the things, you were studying it because these are the things that you would have lived your life for. So it went from there to a whole, what is it? It went from the 9 of Cups to the 8 of Wands. So there's a lot of 9, 8, and 10s and 7s going on over here. There's a lot of energy with cooperation going over here. It's almost like if you can logically understand how your spirit is speaking to you in the process, even if it's fearful, you'll be courageous enough to go through it. And that's the point of this reading. The fear is the guide. It's the ultimate guide because the devil can't know you better than your spirit. Your spirit gonna say something to you, you be like, oh, gotta do it. I'm out. Gotta do this. Spirit gonna get you up. Rapid action, movement, and quick decisions. Because you now know the truth and you're able to contain it and are accountable for it. All you have to be is accountable. And that's like the release of all of that pressure behind it, behind the truth. When you're accountable for it, it's like it's nothing I could do but be accountable. And that was the point. That was the point. Be accountable. And if they are not being accountable, God will make that point. So it's not up to you. You can't push truth, but you can watch it happen. Alright, the next card that was offsuit, was the High Priestess. And this is in the place of I know. And it went from there to the Wheel of Fortune that cleared it. So let's see. Cycles, changes, and inevitable fate. This is what you have experienced and what you now come to be true. It is true that there is a matrix and it works in a certain way. And you are now becoming fortunate because you are working with it. That's that. You're working with the knowledge, your experience. You are applying your experience. So the next energy that was off was I need. It started off with the Ace of Wands. And then went from there to the 9 of Pentacles and then the Moon that fixed it. So the Nine of Pentacles. So fruits of labor, reckless spending, and rewards. Of course you're spending recklessly because you're giving to people that aren't supposed to be there. Giving to places and things that aren't supposed to be in your life. Contracted to it. Let's just say you were clubbing way too much and it feels like that was necessary for you. That was your outlet, right? So you believe that that's your outlet, but it's also taking your money. So you see how it's counterintuitive. It's opposite what you need to do. And then from there to the moon. So unconscious illusions, intuition, and fantasy. The intuition is hitting now. You are understanding why and what the intuition is trying to tell you. And that's important because it's past the fear. Because it is true. And being accountable, you can say, okay, I recognize what this is telling me and I understand I can do things to prevent this from happening. But it also evolves me in a certain way to move different. So yeah. So went from there to I want, right? And this is the Knight of Cups. And it shouldn't be there. It was off suit. I went from there to the Five of Swords and then the 10 of Wands. So let's get the Five of Swords. Unbridled ambition, winning at all costs, and sneakiness. I think I just had this Five of Swords. See? That's crazy. Oh. There were... Okay. If you can understand that the negativity works through people, it's sneaky. Because, yes, your spirit told you to go a certain way. Made you believe that this was right. For a purpose through learning. But when it's time to let go... This is the time that it's taking time away from you. Before, you were on divine alignment with it. And now, since it's a new season, it's time to let go. This is when the lies and deceptions have no merit. And you have to work with the greatest lie, the greatest fear, because spirit can't speak to you in any other way. It can't give you the truth. That hurts too much. I don't want to hurt you. So I have to lie to you greater than what the enemy is lying to you to get you to move back to a stability. So, yeah. So, went from there to the 10 of Wands. Accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. The burden of everything that you've been through and holding yourself accountable, all of that is energy. And it's not so much of a burden if you can understand the purpose because you have peace with it. So, that burden, you can give it to God. Because that's also a lie. You don't have to be burdened from the things that you went through because this was the path. You signed up for this. But yeah. So that was the end of formation. The next part of the reading is manifestation. But I used to call it the star stream. Why? Because it's about the kundalini. Going from the root back up to the crown. Or back up to the ether, the highest of our mechanical perspective. So the first card, let me do this transformation over here, and then Stormy. So this is the way this works. Out of everything that we just went through, I gave you a lot of perspective and information on what you could have been going through. As I said before, put a comment, say you heard me, and timestamp it because I say a lot, so I want to be able to respond to you in kind. So with everything that you know, these are the ifs of the scenario. If I experiment, if I express, if I integrate, if I transcend, therefore I will ascend or evolve. The difference between transcending and ascending, this is Pokemon, you get to level 16, you evolve, you get to the next thing, right? That's the difference, right? So let's keep going on, get these cards down so I could trust. And that's, let me just, I can't even really say anything. Divine masculine and shift. Okay. So, in experimentation, this is in the place of the physical. What can you physically do? Transformation. The butterfly goes through many stages before it becomes a beautiful creature it is. Honor your process and allow your beauty to be seen by all. Wear more color to help announce the arrival of your exquisite transformation. The transformation involves with the tower too, because you beautify your castle, your spirit, you beautify that by seeing what could attack it and giving it a chance to defend itself, because you are a part of what helps keep it protected. So the transformation is important. The next energy is if I express. Stormy. Drama straight ahead. Prepare and brace yourself. Conditions are not favorable at this time. Wait the storm out before proceeding, and that's important. Wait the storm out before proceeding. What is the storm? What is the storm? You got to really think about that. What is the storm? That's the ultimate fear. Wait it out. Wait out for a way through. That's what it's waiting for. That's what you should be waiting for. For the actual true fear to hit you, for you to move. If you're confused about what to do, it's your ultimate fear that you should move on. That's how you can get movement, which is love, into your life. The next energy is trust. And this is in the place of integration. Step into the unknown. All may not be revealed at this time. Trust in unseen forces or the dark forces. Okay. Meditate on this to let go of all attachments or possibilities. Free yourself from your dharma and increase your trust in your guides and the universe. Now, if you trust in what the universe is telling you to do, you will receive the ultimate abundance for your actions. This is like the best actions because you trust it. It's like jackpot, 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 jackpot. And if you need a jackpot, go to number 16. And if you win, holla at your boy. My Cash App is right there. I'm going to tell you that every time. Every time I give you a number, let's go. 16 38 21 19 2 9. Alright. If you win, holla at your boy. The next energy is transcendence, right? So this is veiled. It's not unveiled. So this is things that you cannot see. All is not being revealed at this time. Is someone around you hiding or holding back information or an aspect of themselves? Please use caution in proceeding. Or perhaps the mask is inviting you to become more protective of what you share. Sharing. Don't share what you see all the time. Because that's the truth pushing that I mentioned before. Even though you know it, that's a trigger for you to understand how you can move with it. Because the first time, it's on them. The second time, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 2 times, can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times, fuck the peace signs, load the chopper and let it rain on you. That's how you're going to get if you don't be accountable during that process. And let it rain on you. That's the fire. It rains fire. So, in the place of ascendance or evolution, it started off with shift and then went to divine masculine. Miracles, divine intervention, the end of stagnation, and divine inspiration are here now. Drawing this card signifies an aha moment or a sudden change for what was blocked. Okay. Epiphany. Epiphany is a moment where the circles in your mind, I call circles thoughts that stay there, like gumballs in a gumball machine. An epiphany is like you putting $100 in that gumball machine and now you got all that space to work with. Right? So that's the epiphany. That's what it's doing. But every piece of truth can give you some coin to get rid of that space that you can use for yourself. Every piece of truth. But epiphany is like the biggest truth. And it's accepted in a form that you can manage. So that was shift. The next energy is divine masculine. And that is the last card of the reading. The divine masculine is the embodiment of logic, direct... I forgot all about it. I was talking about the logical way to hear and see spirit, and it was staring at me. The divine masculine is the embodiment of logic, direct action, and strength. In his most evolved aspect, evolution right here, he represents the builder and the protector and the guardian. Drawing this card can symbolize that the divine masculine energy is needed to balance your current situation. It can also represent father-brother healing and the healing of relationships in the divine masculine in your life. So the divine masculine is basically a calculator, right? That's your calculator mind. That's your mental space. Should only be a calculator. Your ego puts energy in that calculator, making it not give you direct answers. So when you hold your ego down, when you trust, you can understand that the form given to you, I just need to do this. Don't think about it. That's what happens. When you don't think about it so much, you are trusting more. And you're moving with the divine masculine in your life. You're trusting that process too. You're rewriting what you believe you should do before you move. Well, you are here to move and spread love. Love is movement. I'm going to keep saying it. The more you move, the more you can spread love. You move for somebody, you can gift somebody with something, not just money. It could be a banana. That's my first example. It could be a banana. Somebody needs a banana right now. I don't know. Potassium. You really need it. It's about the muscles, and that's the problem. Okay. Yeah. So, that was the reading. I know we went through... If you're still here, your mind is like this. Especially in the beginning. And I appreciate you for being there, because I was there by myself. And until I actually talked about it, now you're here with me. And if you're with me on this journey, I appreciate you. So, if you are interested in a reading, my email is in the description. I'm creating an app that is going to be for the spiritual community. I like castles. It's literally going to be a castle of the operation of the mind, the all mind, the spiritual mind, all of it. It's so intricate, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. That's what I'm here for, among other things. But it's going to be a really good thing, and I honestly owe those, or not owe, the inspiration came from I Understood. I follow her from like a month ago, and she talks about fear, and those are some powerful readings, and I'm going to email her this reading because it talks all about fear, and that was in response to what that helped me with. She talks all about the fear being seen. I love it. So yeah, with all that said and done, I appreciate you. Love you. I'm KyFy. Peace.